Welcome to Common Ground. I'm your host, Spencer Martin. This is our reality game show where we're going to pair up liberals and conservatives in a series of games to see who can connect the most. Now, our judges at the end and our live audience, you will all determine who is our grand prize winner. But first, let's meet the teams. Team 1 has experience on their side for better or worse. We have Mike Fitzsimmons, a Gonzaga professor and longtime radio host. His partner will be Amber McKenzie, a local magazine owner, and she used to work in international programs here at Gonzaga. Their opponents are our Team 2 of broadcasting students. They're hardworking, dedicated students that represent both sides of the political spectrum, Jordan Tolbert and Jacob Dizon. Our contestants met each other for the very first time in our first segment and icebreaker, Me Too. Let's take a look as the teams get to know each other.
Hello.
You must be Mike.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Hi, Mike.
You must be Amber.
Yes.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
They have me wired in or I'd stand up.
Okay, that's all right. No worries. No worries.
Okay.
I'll read them.
Already. You can go ahead and read them.
A block, Me Too. During this block, contestants will be finding out what they have in common. There will be 7 envelopes with different topics in them. Contestants will say things based on that topic, and they get a point for each time they say Me Too, i.e. favorite color. My favorite color is blue. You too? No? Okay. Oh, me too, for example. When you open the envelope, please read the topic out loud and show it towards the camera each time and then start discussing. Okay. Want to do the first one?
Sure. All right. The first one, proud moment. Okay. Proud moment. When my first child was born was a proud moment.
Me too.
Ah.
1 point?
Yeah, she was born at Sacred Heart Medical Center 40 years ago.
Okay.
And her doctor, her regular doctor, was not available. And so this very young obstetrician showed up. I didn't even know her. And I had the audacity to ask her where she went to medical school.
Oh,
I mean, I was very nervous at the time because the doctor that was supposed to deliver her was not available. He came eventually, but he was not available at the time. So it was a trying time, but that was the first of 3 kids. Yeah.
Proud moments.
Yes.
Yeah, my proudest moment was also having my first child and
too.
second child. See? Me too. 2 points.
Yeah, me too.
Who's keeping tally? Who's keeping tally?
Oh, it's not? Okay. Yeah, and she was actually born in Deaconess, and it was a wonderful day. It was a very painful process, as I don't want to get into that right now, but she's 6 now. So I have a 4 and a 6-year-old, 2 girls. Moving on. Okay. Okay. Oh, this one's good. Best thing about GU. I think for me, the best thing about Gonzaga is really the community. I know a lot of people say that, but I feel that it's true. I worked in international education, international student scholar services for 14 years, and I felt when I first started at Gonzaga back in 2003 that I was part of something bigger than myself, which was the first time ever. And I felt that people really cared about students and about each other. Yeah, I definitely say community and international students are the best things.
No, I certainly agree on the community part, and I think the international students are great too. Although I don't have near the experience with them as you.
Yeah, and there's not as many
I have
as
them in my classrooms, and,
right.
and as a result of that, I've discovered that they bring a great deal of dimension to the process, a perspective the rest of us don't have, including myself. So, but as far as the caring part of the community, I certainly agree with that.
Hey Jordan.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm great, thank you.
Let's get it opening. So we're gonna be alternating, I think. So I'll start with this one. Okay. It says words to describe you. All right. Do you want to start? What words would you say describe you, Jordan?
I would say organized chaos.
Yeah. I would say extroverted.
Okay.
Another one for you.
Positive.
What would you say like makes you, like kind of gives you the reasons for saying those words for yourself?
Just kind of what I grew up knowing was important, and kind of seeing how people reacted to different ways that I acted.
That's kind of interesting because for me at least, I think that like my reasons for kind of saying the words that describe me are like other people's perceptions of me, and like through my interactions with others, do they kind of like give that feedback into what kind of a person I am. So I think that like a combination of both those kind of really go into kind of describing who the person is, and I think that that's really cool, you know.
Okay, so let's open this one now.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Suspense,
it says, proud moment.
Alright, I would say a proud moment for me was definitely when I first kind of felt comfortable and at home at Gonzaga with my friends, and just kind of being at one with everything that I was doing. Kind of felt like my actions were very purposeful, and I think that kind of that ties into me kind of like starting broadcasting, meeting a lot of cool people, and just finding home here.
Good. Me too, in a sense. So I kind of, not like I wasn't involved freshman year, but just kind of I was in and out of things, not really knowing what I wanted here.
Yeah.
And then last year I kind of felt inclined to join GSBA, and I didn't really know why. But this last week we had a vigil for the Las Vegas shooting, and it was just cool that we all came together, and like I was really outside of my comfort zone. It's kind of like an abstract thing that I was just uncomfortable in a new situation, and I finally found comfort and family in those people, and like the fact that we all got together and did something so meaningful was just like I found my place, you know?
Yeah, that's great. And I think that like kind of the community aspect here at this school is something that's just very infectious, and something that's very kind of just warm and surrounding of all the students that come here, and I think it really kind of brings us together, like despite a lot of differences that we all have, you know?
Yeah. Alrighty, final
Last
envelope.
one. Uh-oh, what could this be?
Okay.
Oh!
This, I have like one pet peeve.
Yeah.
You go first though.
I could tell that you already had one like in mind.
I only have one.
But I think that one of mine, like I can't stand, I know it's not really like a deep thing at all, but when people are eating and they lick their fingers, they're like,
Mine is with eating too. It's
I
when
can't
people,
stand that so much. It's one of like the biggest pet, like I'll be eating the same bag of chips with someone and they'll like grab some and just be
Mine is like mouth noises.
I
hate when people chew with their mouth open.
Can't deal with that.
They're like really like licky.
Very cringy. Yeah.
But,
interesting though, yeah. That's funny. Oh, jinx.
Alright.
Awesome, it was very nice talking for this time.
Nice to talk to you too.
You as well. Common grounds, you know?
All right, that was me too, and now that our players know each other a little bit better, we've given them a challenge. They're going to have to build a structure using a completely foreign language that they've never learned before. The game is called Language Barrier, and it's coming up next. You're watching Common Ground on GUTV. Welcome back everyone to Common Ground. Our next game is called Language Barrier. We gave our teams 24 hours to learn the language of Esperanto. For those of you that may not know, Esperanto is a widely used international constructed language. Our contestants had to use this language to build a specific design as quickly as possible. One team member was allowed to see the design on a monitor, while the other built the object with the blocks. Let's see how it turned out.
Flavor.
Okay.
Brewer.
Knee.
It would be Dexter. Down,
Okay.
Dexter. Okay. We need flavor again.
Okay.
We need Purpura.
Okay.
We need, I guess that is Orango. No, down, all down,
Oh,
flat.
okay.
Okay, Orango. Verde, Purpura, Orango, Blue, Supra.
Supra, hold on.
Supra.
Okay.
Supra, Purpura,
Nope.
Florasis, Florlasis, please. Yeah. Okay, next. Dexter.
Okay.
No, Dexter. Dexter.
Oh,
Da.
okay.
Okay. Verde.
Okay.
Dexter.
Dextra.
Dexter.
Dextra.
Dexter.
Okay. Yeah.
No, Dexter. Nee, Dexter.
Dextra.
Dexter. No,
Oh,
nee.
okay.
Okay. Flavor.
Okay.
Okay. Blue. Blue. Okay. Verde. Dexter. Okay. Supra. Blue.
Jess.
Jess. Jess. Purpura. Jess. Orango. Jess. Dexter. Dexter. Jess. Blue. Supra. Dexter. Jess. Verde. Supra. Jess. We're done.
I remembered all the colors. Whew. All right.
Purpura. Jess. Okay. Orango. Jess. Okay. Blua. Jess. Verda. Jess. Okay. Orango. Malsuprin. Jess. Purpura. Jess. Flava. Jess. Blua. Jess. Orango. Jess. Okay. Supre. Verda. Supre. Orango. No. Nay. Dextre. Jess. Flava. Supre. Verde. Verda. Jess. Blua. Supre. Verda. Jess. Flava. Supre. Orango. Orango. Supre. Flava. Jess. Verda. Supre. Purpura. Purpura. Supre. Verda. Blua. Supre. Purpura. Verda. Supre. Blua. Okay. Purpura. Supre. Blua. Blua supra purpura.
Woohoo! Nice job.
We did it.
Dude, you rock.
Our team of students, Jacob and Jordan, just edged out Team 1 with a time of 2:52 to win our second game. Coming up next, we're going to make our contestants face some of their political positions in our next game, the newly met game. It's coming up next. You're watching Common Ground on GUTV. Welcome back to Common Ground. We've gone pretty easy on our contestants so far, and they haven't had to face their political positions. But that is about to change in the newly met game. In this next segment, our contestants will be faced with some of the most difficult prompts and conversations in our country today. They'll be given these prompts and then be provided with 4 possible answers. Our one player will choose probably the answer that goes towards their beliefs, but then they'll also have to choose the answer that they think their partner would choose. They're going to have to embrace their assumptions to see if they can earn the most points. Let's check it out.
Kneeling during the national anthem is?
A form of peaceful protest against racial discrimination, disrespectful to the flag and to the military, not something I agree with, but I do believe the players have this right, something that should not be allowed, and I will stop watching the NFL because of it.
Oh, we did it.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
I picked A for Amber because I think that I believe that she probably would be of the persuasion that that would be a form of reasonable protest. I would agree that it's a form of reasonable protest under certain conditions, and these are not the ones.
Okay.
So that's why
Right.
I would agree with you that it's A, except these people work for somebody, and where that shows a possibility of causing an economic downturn with respect to the business you work for, the Constitution doesn't permit you to do that.
Oh, okay.
What should happen to dreamers who were protected under DACA?
Okay. A, they should be welcomed with open arms. B, they should be deported from the country. C, they should go through an examination process to determine their status. D, they should be given a path to full citizenship, i.e. military, volunteerism, Peace Corps. Okay. It's kind of a pathway, like one's an examination and one's a path through military, if they volunteer, Peace Corps. So I just thought maybe he'd be, so either C or D. I mean, to me they're kind of similar.
To be given permanent resident status and allowed to stay in the country because they did not themselves commit the crime of entering illegally into the country. All right, their parents did, and I don't think we should attach that to them. But at the same time, they are here illegally, and I think that's different from the immigration process the law says we should uphold. Confederate monuments should be
A, left alone because they are pieces of our country's history. B, removed because they represent a time of racism and division. C, left up to individual states to decide. D, housed in museums which provide more context.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
C, oh, interesting. I like the idea of D because then you can give it context as far as, this was a time in our history when this happened, and now, what we see is this happening because we've all evolved, ideally, and we know that the time in which this, the Confederacy and all of that was happening was a totally different mindset of Americans and whatever, and now we've evolved, but we still want to see how were things then? And so the context, I think, is important, and I think it would be a good educational opportunity.
You need to understand that when those were built, they were built at a time in which there was a good faith effort to honor things that they thought honorable. By today's definition, looking back 100, 125, 140 years, we might have a difference of an opinion about that, but I don't think we apply today's measurement to history's realities. The President of the United States is
A, giving DC a necessary shakeup. B, embarrassing us on the world stage. C, being unfairly treated by the media. D, in need of deleting his Twitter account. So you're saying A, C, D.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he is giving DC a necessary shakeup, and one of the benefits of having a president who doesn't owe anybody any political debts is he's in a unique position to be able to do that. Now, whether or not he's capable of completing that task is another matter altogether.
Right.
All right. And C, in need of deleting his tweet account. I wish he'd just shut up and not tweet again. But other than that, he's doing okay.
I feel like he represents the United States, and I guess I don't feel like he represents me in any way, shape, or form.
You didn't vote for him.
No, I know, but that doesn't mean that he can't represent the people that didn't vote for him, right?
I didn't think Obama did for 8 years either.
He's our president. That's the way it is.
I appreciate that you said he's our president.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also said Obama was our president.
Yeah. So there you go.
All right.
That's all we can do.
We elected him.
Yeah.
Fair and square.
That's right.
Kneeling during the national anthem is
A, a form of peaceful protest against racial discrimination. B, disrespectful to the flag and the military. C, not something I agree with, but I do believe the players have this right. D, something that should not be allowed, and I will stop watching the NFL because of it. I respect kind of the rights that American citizens are granted, and I think that you kind of might have the same idea about that.
yeah. Well, we've agreed on so much already,
Yeah,
but
I
I
guess.
figured that I might as well just write the same thing and see kind of where we're at. But I don't necessarily agree with it, just because like a lot of my family's been in the military
Yeah,
and like
same.
has gotten hurt,
Uh-huh.
and but I think that like people have this right because I don't necessarily like know what they're going through and what they're
Yeah.
feeling, so I
Mhm.
can't pass judgment on what their actions
I
are.
suppose, yeah.
So.
What should happen to dreamers who were protected under DACA?
A, they should be welcomed with open arms. B, they should be deported from the country. C, they should go through an examination process to determine their status. And D, they should all be given a path of full citizenship.
Ooh. Whoa, some differences there. I understand that a lot of the dreamers in this country are, like, they're doing purpose to kind of serve the United States. I do, like, still kind of look at it because they did not come into the country legally and they do not have, like, legal citizenship. So that's why I put my answer.
And then I chose A because, like, personally, my little brother who's adopted, he came
Yeah.
from Ethiopia.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a lot of like civil unrest there, like
Yeah.
starvation. It's really terrible. And I think that, like, even though he went through the process of coming here, I think everyone deserves that right. And since we're a melting pot and
Yeah.
like a country of opportunity, that by not welcoming them with open arms,
Uh-huh.
like, we're doing them a disservice and doing our own country a disservice. So
Okay. Confederate monuments should be
A, left alone because they are pieces of our country's history. B, removed because they represent a time of racism and division. And C, left up to individual states to decide. And D, housed in museums which provide more context. Okay. I chose D because, like, a lot of things from, you know, not the best historical times
yeah.
are in museums, and I think that would be like kind of like a this happened, but like we're not gonna like glorify it.
I think that, like, certainly, like, they're kind of, like, very similar.
Yeah, there's
but,
a
yeah.
couple of them that are kind
But,
of
like, there's,
similar.
like, very extremes of it, and I think that, like, sometimes, like, the extreme viewpoints on something can never really be, like, the exact one, you know? So, not really sure.
The President of the United States is
A, giving DC a necessary shakeup. B, embarrassing us on the world stage. C, being unfairly treated by the media. And D, in need of deleting his Twitter account.
Can we choose two?
Wow.
I know that sometimes he is not doing, like, the best job as president, but I really kind of think that a lot of our large nationwide media corporations kind of don't like, try, like, not to put him in the best
True.
light.
But would you agree that like a lot of it he does to himself by like his
Yeah.
Twitter and
I do kind of see, like, where you come from with that, and that's why it's just something that's kind of, like, tough to, like, single down to a certain thing. I really think that it's a combination of all these things, and especially from like how it kind of started up with his campaign. He was like very much like rash and very kind of like making a lot of like generalizing comments, and I think that kind of set that pathway for the media. But sometimes I kind of feel like the media doesn't always give the whole story on other things that are coming from the other side as well.
I chose D for you because I didn't really know what you think about him, because some conservatives like him, but like don't like what he's saying, or like voted for him and then are a little bit embarrassed still. So I knew that probably everyone could agree that he needs to delete his Twitter account. But it's embarrassing that we live in a country where we talk about welcoming people and being a land of opportunity. We don't. He's alienating people. Yeah. And I just think that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for me to have to, you know, talk to
and like
and
with your
address.
background, you know, I feel like you kind of touched on that a little earlier, and I think that I could see where you're coming from with that. But like, you know, we can agree to disagree on a lot of things. We still have friends, still have a lot of common ground as well, you know.
Yep.
Our judges have just seen where our players disagree and where they lie politically, but in our next segment, they're going to have to truly come together. Our final block will be This We Believe, and it's coming up next. You're watching Common Ground on GUTV.
Hi all, my name is Carlo Gentilla, and I have the privilege of serving as the GSA president this year. My running mate Lauren Yule and I decided to run for these positions because we wanted to focus on the pillars of accountability, inclusivity, and belonging, and actualize that through all of our work. Accountability because we want to hold ourselves accountable to our students and to the faculty that we serve. Inclusivity because we want everybody to have the opportunity to get involved with student involvement, regardless of who they are or where they come from. And belonging because we believe that a sense of belonging is a prerequisite to success. With the ever-changing political climate and all the things happening in the news, the thing that keeps GSBA going is our adherence to the mission statement. Our mission statement stresses a commitment to the dignity of the human person, solidarity with the poor and vulnerable, and social justice. So whenever there is something happening in the news or we are ever feeling bogged down by the enormous pressure to react, it is that mission statement that keeps us going. My job this year is to serve you all. So if you ever want to talk to me, my office is on the 3rd floor of Hemmingson. I'm here for you all, and go Zags!
GUTV.
Welcome back to Common Ground. In our final game, there's only one more chance for our contestants to prove to our live audience of judges that they deserve the grand prize. Our final game is This We Believe, and after all they've been through, we sat our teams down with pen and paper and had them write a document about what they think it means to be an American.
I think it means to recognize that this country is for all folks with differing points of view who can share it all and not have to fight over it, basically, and who can respect the fact that there aren't very many places on earth where that's possible.
I don't know, for me, it's a lot about just understanding different perspectives and what makes us this beautiful nation that we are, and where we're all allowed to pursue our own goals and our own, you know, journey toward that, you know, whatever fulfills us. How can we all do that together and respect each other in the process? We discussed our manifesto, and we agreed on a lot. And what we both talked about that we both agreed on was that the problem is very complicated in this country. And there's some things that we would have to admit to each other to move forward. And one of those things is that we're not all right about what we think we're right about, and that there's lots of different perspectives that are voiced and are part of, obviously, this amazing country that we have.
And to be an American, we have to admit some things to each other that, you know, when we're among our friends who you know, reinforce our own personal opinions about things we don't want to admit at all.
We need each other for this country to be amazing and as beautiful as our founding fathers knew it could be. So we need each other, and that there's beauty in compromise. and that, you know, we might not be getting everything that we want, but we're coming together to kind of understand the whole so that we can all benefit from, you know, from each other. And
yeah, this Constitution we have been around for 241 years, and all that period of time, we have to remember that when it was drafted, they never agreed on everything themselves. But we also agreed we need to revisit this Constitution. In fact, it may be a good idea to become familiar with it for the first time.
Yeah, and so we talked about the Constitution. It has answers that we need, and if we revisit it, read it again, and reinstate it, we see possibilities there. And also, we talked about getting a sense of the collective us, as opposed to the, you know, what I want, what's in it for me. So just getting a sense of the collective us is important.
That's a sense of nation, basically.
A sense of nation.
And so this collective sense of us vanished. The last time we felt it before 9/11 was when John Kennedy was shot, and then before that, probably World War II. It might be a good idea to try to figure out how to make that something that we feel all the time.
We can't always, like, we can't achieve equality of income necessarily, but we can achieve equality of religion, of race, and I think that's something that creates a sense of belonging, and that's kind of what ties a country together.
It's not the freedom of income, but it's very much, we try to strive to have the freedom of opportunity.
Right.
We all come from different areas, but we should have the same assets and the same opportunities to strive for prosperity and to be a success and kind of like find what it means to be an American in our own way. To us, being Americans means many things. We are founded upon the idea that we have the freedom to express our beliefs, believe what we want to believe, feel safe, and express ourselves. Like, I don't know, have the freedom to like guide your success, path your success, have a way to kind of have support.
I would say opportunity.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
America is a place for people to pursue success, however that looks to them. We can achieve this dream through a combination of hard work and government cooperation.
And I think like all these things that we're touching on are just kind of like all form into the same thing. It's like being free to be who you are while kind of striving for success through hard work.
I would just say it's a bunch of freedoms.
We strive for equality of opportunity while also working on foreign relations as well as addressing the needs here in our country. We are a country in constant pursuit of freedom,
independence,
and prosperity.
All right, now it's time for all of our judges and our live audience to tell us who they think won. You just saw This We Believe, and so now I'm going to collect the ballots. Thank you, thank you. This is close. It's almost like it's midterm season. It's almost like tests. Thank you, thank you. Oh, we got them all here. No worries. All right, so we got one for Team 2, Team 1, and Team 1. Thank you. Another one for Team 1. I think we made, you know, need some younger people in the audience right now. They're all going towards their demographic. Team 2. Another one for Team 2, of course, just as I say that. Team 2. Team 2. Team 1. Team 2. And thank you again all for coming. It's nice to have an audience here. Team 1. Team 2. Team 2. Another one for Team 2. Alright. I stand correct. Team 2. Team 2. Team 1. Team 2. Team 1. And then 2 more for Team 1. So with that tie, it looks like Team 2, our young broadcasting sophomores, Jacob Dizon and Jordan Tolbert, they got the win. But that's all we have for our show. And also big thank you to Caruso's for donating our grand prize. They each get a $25 gift card. Thank you for watching Common Ground. I'm Spencer Martin, and this is GUTV. But that's all we have for our show. And also big thank you to Caruso's for donating our grand prize. They each get a $25 gift card.